This video is to show you how to install the Vhedia media unit inside a 2022 Mazda BT 50. The difference between the Isuzu installation and the BT 50 installation is a little bit different, insofar as the dash, this area here, is different on the Mazda BT 50, and you'll see later when I take it out that it's a completely different deinstallation. The unit itself is exactly the same as the Isuzu, but the fascia that runs around here is different by about 3 millimeters. So you'll need a BT50 fascia as opposed to a D-Max fascia. All the internal wiring is exactly the same. So today we're doing the installation of the head unit to the car. The tools that I'm going to use, this is out of the selection given to you by the company, and this is another tool that I had. Sadly, we're doing this in the front yard of our property in the driveway, so we're going to put up with lawn mowers and cars and squawking birds. So the first thing you do is lower the steering wheel down to its very lowest point, and you push the seat back as far as you go, because you have to get in and do your work sitting in here. The first step is to remove this panel. And this panel is quite easily removed if you pull out the rubber like so, putting it aside, and then use your tool and just find a loose spot, work your way up. You'll hear the clips click, and that allows you access. And as the wise man said, with plastic, patience is the best. Remove that from the car and set it aside. So the next step is to put your hands in behind this panel and just carefully just give it a nudge. And you'll see that the panel comes out there. A bit more of a nudge. Remember, patience is your friend. Get the tool, bring it out as far as you can, and you'll see that this whole section here is starting to move. Always use the tool on the hard plastic, not the soft plastic. You'll notice now that the panel is out and this whole section here is now coming loose, and just gently prising it back towards yourself, this whole section will slide out. You'll do that a few thousand times as well. So you'll now see that whole section is out. Now the next thing you should do is in this area where I'm pointing, just here, you should cover that with masking tape. You see, I've installed masking tape across this part of the dashboard and on that side. The reason for being is that when you pull this unit out, that unit is going to slide straight across that particular part and probably leave a scratch. You might have noticed that I have the steering wheel cover off because it resolves one of the annoying problems with both Isuzu and Mazdas, that when the ignition is on in the accessory mode and the key is in, there is a doorbell alarm. Just so to stop that annoying dinging all the time, I removed that switch from the ignition and I've put it back in again. So there's a little trick. The covers for that come off. There is one screw on this side and one screw on that side and one underneath. And to access the screws, you have to turn the ignition on and the engine so that you can rotate the steering wheel against the power steering, because the screw is hidden behind this portion of the steering wheel. So the next part of the installation is to put your hand in that portion there between you and the speedo panel. Put your hand up at the top here and just ease it carefully out, and next thing you know, there's one more clip to be unclipped in there, which is a difficult one. In fact, it's so difficult it's pulled the head unit out as well, which is good. But it's really best done with your hands. So, using gentle strength, bring back, slide the unit towards the door and out. This panel has all these green locking pieces, which are very good quality locking pieces and don't break. One is missing because it's still up in the dashboard, and I'll show you how to remove that, and so you can put it back onto here. How to remove the green clips: put the screwdriver in the back and a pair of pointy nose pliers, and use the screwdriver to bring it out all the way, hoping that it's not going to fall in the car. There you go, out. Thank you. So the hard part of removing this radio is this clip here, which I mentioned before. Because I've deinstalled this once, I've made it a bit simpler for the video and left the green clip off. But you'll pull that radio out of there, and then you'll just gently feed the head unit out from the top clip. Lots of crackling. Fingers, no tools. And disconnecting the top clips. And the head unit is now out. When you get to this point, go to here. There's a white push down portion on the top. Push that down and extract the wire. Maybe easier on the back here. And then same thing, there's a locking clip. Push down the locking clip and your unit is now out of the car. So the areas where clips are holding the unit in the car are here, 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 and here. And they correspond to that point, that point, that point, that point, and that point. The clip that goes in here is with the head of the speedo fascia. These clips are the white clips, and you will probably lose most of them. The company has provided you with spare clips to continue on. The next step is to remove this screw, this screw, this screw, and this screw. I'll remove them and come back to you. So with the screws removed, we pull the unit forward, and at the back we disconnect the cables. Now each cable has a locking pin. Push the locking pin down and pull it out, and of course the first one I choose won't do that. That one, they're out. Then this one here, locking pin down and out, locking pin down and out. Best to do the easy ones first, come back to the harder ones later. I'll get the remainder of those out and come back to you. So after a little bit of swearing and cursing, all plugs are now out. Just remember, push the locking pin in and then try to wiggle the connector. If it doesn't want to come out, push the connector back in again, depress the locking pin again and head out. Most difficult part of that job is finding where the locking pins are. So the next stage of this is to remove the retaining clip from here and here that didn't come out when we pulled the front unit out, using the technique I showed you before. 50-50 chance that you're going to lose one, but that's okay, they gave you extras. The other thing then is I would then lay this whole area down with a towel so that as you're moving around and installing, you're not scratching any of the unit itself. While you have the dashboard apart, this is a very good time to do a little maintenance chore, and that is the speedo clear bezel sometimes gets quite dirty. If you wash it down gently with a microfiber cloth that's damp but not wet, this is a good time to clean it, because it's one of the few times you can ever get in to do that. The next step is to replace the existing unit with the Vhedia unit, and you do that by removing the 4 screws on the back. The screws on the back are located here, 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 and here, and just remove those screws, which look like, of course I can't get this one out, here, look like that, and then you can lift the unit off the top of the radio and put the radio aside. Using the 4 Vhedia supplied screws, screw into here, 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 and here. Take them down till they are snug. Do not attempt to over tighten. Just check the unit as you're screwing it in that you have a tight fit. At this stage, I've now connected all of the cables to the back of the unit, and using a towel placed over the controls to make sure there's no damage. The head unit is now loosely installed, and we're now putting the dashboard back together. Now, a couple of tricks with the dashboard, that on this side of the dashboard there's a slot that's got to go towards the radio, and the radio fits over the top of that. Then you can put that together. Be very careful up here that all of the clips are in the right position, and you can see that I've just got to push the last part home here, and then it's fully installed. So the tricky parts are ensuring that those are lined up, that the radio is not pushed home, and that clip there is in because the radio goes over the top of a slot just there. I chose to install the GPS antenna and the 4G antenna up on the screen at the top there, and I ran the cables down through the pillar under the cover, down through the dashboard and across to the radio. One small feature which is not all that good at this point in time is that the port that's here, the USB port that most people will have plugged their phone into to charge it, will operate, but the charge doesn't. There is no charge on the cable. This is a problem that I will bring up with Vhedia to see if we can solve it. If it can't be solved, I might be forced to put a powered USB hub in behind the dashboard. I ran all of my USB cables in behind the glove box here, including the 4G dongle, for the reason being that if I ever need access to those or change them around, then I just pull the glove box out and I've got access to all the cables.